It's Wednesday, June 14th. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up with a 3 bar. It was Fed decision day, and a 3 bar means we took out the high of the previous day, the low of the previous day. In terms of where it closed, the bias is kind of right in the middle, so there's no real strong green, there's no strong red. We kind of look like we're in kind of congestion right here at the moment, and we'll go over that in a second. But the overall bias is certainly to the upside. We've been talking about that. If you look at the weekly chart after today, it's still a nice green bar. We haven't gotten below the weekly open or anything that looks like it's reversing. So, the bias was to the upside. And frankly, if you look at in a second, I'll look at the 15-minute chart. Even though this was a green day from yesterday and you think you're at exhaustion risk, if we really look back at yesterday, we discussed how this was, one big green bar gapped up, and then the rest of the day stayed inside that bar all day. So you're really just consolidating all day, and therefore it had built up some energy for a potential move either up or down. So therefore, once we kind of started with the pre-market range between the blue lines, came down and had that green reversal bar on bar one, this was an excellent buy here, and you had a great morning trade on the SPY, kind of a push up to the first target, the pre-market high, a little pause, and then a second push up. So all kinds of ways to do well if you were trading the index. I was trading a bunch of stocks. I traded Broadcom to the upside, and that kind of moved up, had a nice morning move here, little pause and another move. I traded Nvidia, which was a great, morning move. What else was I? Broadcom. And then I traded Abbott Labs, which also I was watching. Once it kind of paused in here for 3 bars, I bought that. That had a nice morning move. And I think I traded AI, which actually had a decent move here and then kind of consolidated and didn't really follow through like some of the other stocks, but it was still, a decent kind of break even or small gain trade if you wanted to play it that way. So anyway, and there were a lot of other stocks as well that moved up nicely. But the SPY itself, with Fed decision day, what happened was it went up and that was your morning move. Then I shot a video, you can look at it, where I bought some puts here at this little red line. I was anticipating these lows taken out. And not only did it take it out, but after the Fed move, you can see you had all kinds of ways for nice profits if you stuck with the trade. If you got out before the Fed decision, you still had a nice trade here. And I described that in a video. But then, as what usually happens after the Fed decision, the market makes one big move one way, goes the other way, and we kind of close here neutral on the day. So what that means going forward, to me, it's kind of broadening. If we spread the 15-minute chart out now, we got higher highs here, lower lows here, and the question is what happens next. I don't know for sure. The trend is up, but now we're seeing selling up here, buying down here, and that's why it's not really an actionable signal for tomorrow. Maybe we'll get, the ideal thing, since this is kind of broadening action on the downside in an uptrend, the ideal thing would be to get a 2 down and then a 2 up is a great signal. But I don't know what tomorrow is going to be. Can it be an inside bar? And then we might have a signal on Friday, either up or down. And maybe, let's say we go inside tomorrow and we don't do much, and Friday gives us a down day. Maybe that is a signal that this week, where it looks green now, ends up with a big shooter bar to the downside. But in the same way, we can be just continuing higher. We can kind of pause and go up 1 and then up on Friday, or we can go tomorrow, maybe down a little bit and then 2 up on Friday. So the actionable signal won't come, until Friday at the earliest, and we're just going to see what happens to happen. So tomorrow might be a tricky day of trading, given we obviously have selling up here and a lot of buying down there, and we're stuck right in the middle of it. So, with the continuity obviously to the upside. So as always, we'll see where the pre-market range is, but and where price action starts. But just know that it's going to be a tough day tomorrow in terms of maybe sustainable movement, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, today was a good day trading. Let's go back to 15-minute chart in the morning. I explained why I thought this was a good put trade here, and then it was just too tough to really do anything here, other than if you I don't know, if you sense that if you just kind of know Fed day is what it is, that it kind of makes a fake one way and then goes the other way. If you wanted to do anything and it came down and you knew you were broadening lower on a overall uptrend, I guess you could have bought this inside bar right here if you really wanted to play it to the upside for a nice little, there's enough volatility where it gave you a nice gain. So that was that. So anyway, we'll end here. The monthly chart's still green and heading up, so there's just no reason. We're looking for now buy opportunities, and quite frankly, this is the beginning here of some pausing, which maybe gives you a little bit of consolidation before the trend continues up, and there might be some very good actionable signals to the upside, but not necessarily tomorrow. So anyway, that's the recap today, and we'll see how the Thursday goes and how that leads into maybe an actionable signal on Friday.